Welcome you all. In continuation to my previous video, we will be discussing further few more important international conventions under the environmental law in UGC NET law paper. So last convention in my video was United Convention Framework on the Climate Change. Now we are going to see another convention, which is Convention on the Biological Diversity of 1992. This particular convention, which is with regard to the biological diversity or biodiversity and the sustainable use of the compounds that we have get from the biological diversity and the sharing of the benefits of the genetic resources. So there are two important protocols to this convention of the biodiversities, that is the Cartagena Protocol on biosafety, which was signed in the year 2000, and Nagoya Protocol, which was signed in the year 2010. And this particular convention on biological diversity, this was signed in the year 1992, and this came into the force in the year 1993. We, India, also a party to this convention, and we ratified it in the 1994. Giving importance to the convention and being a member of this convention, we also have enacted an act, Biological Diversity Act 2002, by powers given to us under the Article 253 of Constitution of India. And the three main goals of this act is also the same as the Convention on the Biological Diversity, that is the conservation of the biodiversity, sustainable use of its components, and sharing of the benefits of the genetic resources fairly and equitably. This is with regard to the Convention on the Biological Diversity. Then we have United Nations Convention to combat desertification, that is UNCCD. This was signed in the year 1994 and came into force in the year 1996. So this particular convention, this is a binding convention that links the development and environment to sustainable land management. So particularly this addresses the semi-arid or dry sub-humid areas, which are called as the dry land. So this particular convention is for the dry land. This convention, it obliges the national, poses a duty on the national government to take measures to tackle the issues of the desertification. So it is one of the important convention, which was an outcome of the Rio conference, which is the Rio conventions. And we have also, like already I mentioned, we have also signed this convention in the year 1996, and the 2006 it was declared as the International Year of Deserts and the Desertification. This is with regard to the United Nations Convention to combat the desertification. Then we have Rotterdam Convention. This Rotterdam Convention is with regard to the chemicals and pesticides in the international trade. Okay. So this particular Rotterdam Convention, we signed in the year 1998, and it came into the force in the year 2004. And we have signed it in the year 2005, and came into force in the year 22nd August 2005. One of the important key points with regard to Rotterdam Convention of 1998, it included a document which is called as Prior Informed Consent Procedure for certain hazardous chemicals and pesticides in international trade. So there should be there's a procedure to be followed for certain hazardous chemicals and pesticides during an international trade that was included in the Rotterdam Convention as a prior informed consent. Then we have Cartagena Protocol 2000. This is a protocol under the Convention on the Biodiversity. One is Nagoya Protocol and another one is Cartagena Protocol. So this particular protocol was signed in the year 2000 and it came into the force in the year 2003. So this Cartagena Protocol, it is for the on the biosafety. So protecting biological diversity from risk posed by the living modified organisms resulting from the modern technology. So like there will be a risk which will be given due to the living modified organisms which is resulted from the modern technology. So this Cartagena protocols give certain guidelines on the biosafety, that is to protecting the such biological diversity from such risk which has been given by the living modified organisms. We have ratified it in the year 2003. Then we have Stockholm Convention of 2001. This is with regard to the persistent organic pollutant that would damage the soil. So these are the carbon-based organic chemicals. These are all the small conventions, and this was signed in the year 2000 and it came into force in the year 2004. We have signed this convention in the year 2002 and we have also came into force in the year 2006. So because of the giving producing carbon-based organic chemicals to the soil, there is like lot of problems to the soil as well as the groundwater. So this particular convention deals with that. Stockholm Convention 2001 deals with that. Then we have Nagoya Protocol. So when you take Convention on Biodiversity 2010, that is with regard to the conservation of the biological diversity. Then we have Cartagena Protocol, that is on the biosafety, protection of the biological diversity because of the threat caused by the living modified organism because of use of modern biotechnology system. This is with regard to the if there is any benefits arising from that technique, that has to be shared equitably, and also access to the genetic resources. So this is with regard to that Nagoya Protocol 2010 with regard to the access to the genetic resources and equitable sharing of benefits of arising from their use. So there are two. This particular Nagoya Protocol was signed in the year 2010 and it came into force in 2014, and we have signed it in the year 2011 and it was ratified in the year 2012. Then we have Rio Plus 20 2012. Why it is Rio Plus 10? It was at 2002. That was held in the Johannesburg, and Rio Plus 20, it is at 2012, that was again held in the Rio de Janeiro conference. This was with regard to the sustainable development. So the first Rio conference that was taken place in the Rio de Janeiro in the year 1992, which is also known as UN Conference on the Environment and Development. Then we have 2002 conference Rio Plus 10, which took place in the Johannesburg, which is also known as World Summit on Sustainable Development. Then we have Earth Summit 2012 Rio Plus 20 that took place at Rio de Janeiro, which is also known as UN Conference on the Sustainable Development. So there are three important Rio conferences. Then we have Minamata Convention of 2013. This Minamata Convention of 2013, this particular convention is pertaining to the mercury, because mercury is considered as the most dangerous chemicals which have major public health. So this was signed in the year 2013 and it came into force in the year 2017. And in India, we have signed this convention in the year 2018. Then we have Paris Agreement. So this is one of the important agreement that was signed on one of the conference of parties under the UN framework of climate change in 2015, that is Paris Agreement. Kyoto Protocol and Paris Agreement are two important things. Two important agreements under the UN Framework Convention on the Climate Change. So this particular Paris Agreement was to reduce and to mitigate the greenhouse gas emissions. So they have laid on 20-20-20. That is, the 20:20:20 was the ratio that was given under this Paris Agreement. That is to reduce the carbon dioxide emission by 20% and to work on increasing the renewable energy market by 20% and to increase energy efficiency by the 20%. So the formula behind this Paris Agreement was the 20:20:20. Next we have is the Kigali Amendment. So this Kigali Amendment was it was to pertaining only to the hydrofluorocarbons, and this was the 8th amendment with regard to the Montreal Protocol 1987, where, as mentioned in my previous video, the Montreal Protocol has 9 amendments, and this is one of the very important amendment which deals with the climate damaging refrigerant known as the hydrofluorocarbons. India have adopted this amendment in the year 2021. The link for my first video is also given in the description box of this video, and the Professor Academy have opened up their admissions for the UGC NET 2024. Kindly contact the number that is given on your screen. Very all the best to the December 2023 candidates. Study well, do well, concentrate and study. Don't panic in the exam hall. Relax and write your exam. And very all the best to you. Thank you.